teams picking a high variance portal, and there's not a huge option for it other than Radiant item, and everyone's going to stay away from it. Loot sub is the other option, but 3 champions. We're going to get some more boring portal selection here, which I know you're so happy with.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be true. Loot sub is I think it would open up the meta a lot, though.
It would, yeah.
Yeah, a lot more spatulas being thrown out here. And this is part of the sort of Chinese team style that we've seen. A lot of their players in the middle of the pack do tend to go for alternative lines with emblem +1s, give you those open routes, and not try to congest on the 2-cost rerolls.
All right, we look through these openers. 3 champions. It's just going to be extra gold. So someone could look for that open fort, make a lot of early extra gold here. Look at Hunching holding on to a Veigar. As we mentioned, it just really hasn't worked out so far. The 3-cost reroll being too easy to grief, not really allowing for this composition to shine. It was averaging, what, was 7.5 in the previous day.
Terrible.
Just not able to get anything going.
Yeah, you have a much lower cap compared to champions in the 2-cost range like Syndra. Also, there's only 18 cards in the 3-cost card pool, so the enemy team could very easily deny you your 3-star chances. Every team that we've seen go into the 3-star lines have honestly regretted it.
All right, the full sell there just to make 10. Hunsing finds a pair of Jacks. Jack's one of the 1 costs I think has performed the best. Just absolutely insane tank. And then just leads you into that multi-striker line if you want to go for it.
We could be seeing a lot more, I think, 4-cost centric lines here. It is going to be a gold opening here, so if you have a good gold opening augment in 2-1, you could just go straight into leveling. I think this is something that both of these teams actually prefer quite a bit this time around. I was doing the stats yesterday and looking at the 2-cost reroll lines, it was over 50% of the meta.
All right, well, these are some of the most important 2-1 augments of these players' careers. This is an elimination match in the EWC. You do not want to be going out first. There's so much prize money on the line. And we're seeing the potential for a prismatic ticket, but a movable object fits more in the strategy we've seen out of FNATIC. Very good tempo augment, very strong for win streaking. But Kyun potentially looking for the win out with the prismatic ticket, trying to play that hero, maybe go for Syndra, go for the 2 costs.
Definitely going to be heading more towards these low-cost rerolls. That's typically what we've seen. We heard from Alan yesterday they were trying to get a prismatic ticket 3-star Taric to win the game. But that's Z10. Z10 has their own style.
Z10's a little wacky. They got it done, though. They made it happen.
They did.
But also looking at Dish Soap, that's level up. This is another augment that's kind of looking towards more of the win streak, or not the win streak, the win out style. Yeah. Trying to push those extra levels.
Oh, and Weijin getting some very unorthodox lines here. The Frost plus the Hunter. You know, Frost Hunters is a line that was very strong in PvE. Then people realized it just wasn't actually that good. Only played once here, but he does have the augments for it.
We even heard in the interview from GK playing some Frost line and not really being happy about it. Never playing it again. Said sorry for playing Frost. However, Weijin's kind of pushed towards this, right? You Frost Hunter.
You can't ignore 2 emblems.
You have to play Olaf, right? You have to play around this Olaf. You have to find the items that work for it and try and make it happen.
I wouldn't be too happy with that emblem. I'll just put it that way.
Sure, no, absolutely not. But maybe, I mean, if this is a hell of a time to have to make that work. Yeah. And try and play into Olaf, who has been the 4-cost that even in our pre-show yesterday, you said was one that everyone was going to ignore, no one wants to play. And I think that's been correct throughout the entirety of this tournament. But now we've got a signal that it's just going to have to happen.
This is a very good start coming in from Dish Soap. He has 3 Eldritch, 3 multi-striker, one of the best openings you could ask for, and also hit a Neela too. So even though he's going for a level up, which is, you know, usually a level 9 strategy, he's going to be very healthy early on. Yeah,
playing high tempo, slamming items, right? And slam this adaptive helm, and just try and make sure he can win as much as possible, go full win streak, make gold in that way. And when he pushes levels later on, level up is going to make it so Dish Soap can actually push to level 9. We see a lot of people stuck on level 8 all the time in the current meta, just trying to roll down, get as strong as possible, take the other players out. But Dish Soap actually will be able to push that just a little bit higher.
It's very important in this meta. Typically, we see the 4 costs as being underpowered. You really want a lot of the 5 costs on your board. Xerath Arcana is a great way to kind of cap everything out. And Diana, Briar, they all have big CC chains to go after that Syndra. So, you know, sometimes level up level 8, but in this meta, definitely level 9 is the goal here. Another Indomitable from Hanxing.
Yeah. And Malala just going to be able to grab the upgraded Randuins. We saw this as an option as well instead of the golden ticket for Ki-Yoon, or the prismatic ticket, that is. But Ki-Yoon ends up not going for it, plays Lost Streak, plays for prismatic, whereas Malala takes it and tries to play for Win Streak.
And we have seen this
Quick
start
roll up
quite often here, trying to preserve his win streak. I believe this side... Okay, so this is Malala with Indomitable.
Look at that support golem. That's Moonstone Renewer plus a Randuin's pretty solid pickup. Moonstone, you want to live a bit longer, right? But with Randuin's, it'll be like second row, so you'll have a little bit of time with the Renewer. It's just a lot of tanky stats, and especially for the early game. It was pretty ridiculous to try and keep a win streak. Surprised that there was a loss earlier on.
Kezi also finding a Neela too, so a lot of people having some luck with this character. One of Bintum's favorite. We saw this being an alternative line yesterday where, because everyone's going for 2 costs, you can go for the open Neela.
Yeah, it was 4 copies already. It's a ton of copies of Neela already hitting the boards of these players. Looking around at the augments. A couple Shimmer Scale pickups as well, which is going to just inflate the econ for CN once again. It's Honglian and Easy, the 2 players who have been the aces for the team, having early 2-1 augments that can lead towards a win out, and Honglian on the lost streak once more.
I will say it does look like Ki-Yoon has more chance to preserve his lost streak because he can just full open. That's looking like what he's about to do. And the key thing is, what sort of reroll line will he go for with the prismatic ticket? He secured himself a Guinsoo's early on, which opens a lot of lines. I think it's the most flexible. You know, you could go for the Ujings. We said it's not best statistically. And of course, good old Syndra is there with the double Vanguard here. It's just going to be about if Honglian or Ki-Yoon is going to sell their board. Honglian probably cannot sell his because of the Mughals mail.
Yeah, and Ki-Yoon finds the Wukong. I think potentially he wants to hold that and potentially go Syndra Wukong as the way that he actually rolls down for, because Wukong 3 is such a powerful way to win out as well. Gives him more options. If he rolls at 7 instead of 6, goes for Wukong, goes for Syndra, can pick up Karmas, can actually find ways to continue to cap that board even higher. Ki-Yoon going to take the loss. He did sell his board, it looks like.
What an obscene board from Tissop early on. Playing level up and, you know, still keeping a full win streak. Let's see who's going to be contesting. Easy doesn't look like he's going to be holding on to his.
Yeah, Malala able to shut that down. Huge, as Malala had just lost, being able to grief another streak in the game. Massive for FNATIC. Tissop, the only one on the full win.
A very strong start for FNATIC here. As we talked about, Ki-Yoon can grief Honglian. I don't think Honglian can really do anything about it. So if they have the matchmaking right, then they just cut off the ace from the previous game.
Look at that Swain 2 that was picked up on the Frost board.
Wow.
That's so big because this composition, it's not the best, right? It's really not that good, but if you can keep tempo in the early game around a Swain 2, get an Olaf on a good cadence, he could probably play for a top 4 because having the 2 emblems buffing up that unit, that main carry, even if it's not the best carry, it's still going to be a lot of power, a lot of stats. And you can just stat check people if you're able to find it.
I think the most important one is going to be play for 2 Frost. That's what we've seen, at least in Project PBE. 9 Frost is a decent win-out condition, but even 7 Frost does lag behind. Tissop looks like he's going to be able to just kite through this matchup quite easily. On the other hand, Honglian... I think Honglian did win his matchup.
Honglian leveled to 5 and won there, so I think looking to pivot into win streak immediately, maybe recognizing that Ki-Yoon was in his pool, didn't want to play that lottery, and instead made the board strong and said, hey, if I'm going to run into Ki-Yoon, I'm going to hit him hard.
Yeah, so... You know, he's probably on 47 gold, so doesn't mind just going into the win streak. Of course, he still has to preserve that win streak in order to make that play worthwhile. Meantime, Hanxing just going to go for the Kog'Maw reroll line. This is a very hotly debated issue amongst a lot of players. Yesterday in the stats, it had a 22% top 4 rate. So very, very bad in the stats. But when we ask the players, they say that it's not about how good you do on it. It's just to make sure that you're better than the opponent's team's Honey Answer line.
Yeah, of course, right? Just try and send them 8th. Get whatever placement you can scrounge up from there. And because Kog'Maw, I think a lot of teams are starting to not want to go there, it might open up the ability for Kog'Maw to kind of come back into the meta, rotate back in, because teams will avoid it a little bit more, and you might find a lane where you can actually play it open.
Yeah, what we've heard from the players is they still believe in the line. They think it's very strong, but it's one of the worst lines to play if contested. Doesn't look like anyone's going for the Honeymaster there. In the meantime, Kiyun with the full loss streak going into multi-strikers. And let's take a look at the Frost Hunter board. This is a board that I honestly haven't had that much experience on it. Usually you want to... The issue about this board is most of the hunters are low cost, so you want to play a reroll line. But in the meantime, you also need to go wide and very tall in order to fit the Frost line in. So it's a very awkward line. I haven't seen it being optimized yet.
Yeah, rough matchmaking for FNATIC as well. Dish Soap on the 5 streak. WEIBO was just building up this 3 streak with a lot of tempo on Frost. One of them has to lose it here, and that hurts the team just in general. Both of them really wanting to maintain this. We see it looks like it will be Dish Soap doing so, and that might be for the best. WEIBO, with this setup, is just trying to find the highest placement he can, right? He saw this Wandering Trainer. He knows he's stuck into Frost Hunter. It's not going to be the winning line for his team, but if he can find something good, make it happen, that's all he needs, right? 5th, 4th would be incredible for WEIBO's spot.
It's actually pretty big here, as the chance for gold augment's not that high after Prismatic, so it means that the Wandering Trainer has a good chance of finding an emblem to boost his comp up even more. Gold augment is most important, I would say, for multi-striker and also for Frost Hunter. Those two lines, a lot of emblems open. Big roll down coming in on the side of Kiyun.
He's missing everything right now. Oh. Does find the Wukong too, but he rolled so much gold and it's just a pair of Syndras. There we go. Not the roll down he wanted, but he does find 6 Rumbles, gets a Syndra 2, which can be enough, right? And gets the Wukong too. So the board is at least upgraded. He can break his loss streak. He should be able to win for a little bit. And he has the Ginsus ready to go.
Didn't really catch what he got out of Replicate, but there's no tiers here, so it's not going to be able to get that Shoujin's in just yet. This should be decent for stage 3. I haven't really seen any board that should be able to cap this. Hanxing, you know, hasn't rolled down yet. Stuck on that Kog'Maw too. Don't think he's... Oh, maybe. Okay, never mind.
Dish finally going to lose his win streak, it looks like there in our picture-in-picture. Easy going to take him down. So not going to be able to maintain that throughout stage 3. Unfortunate, since WEIBO just had to lose that one. But WEIBO lost another round afterwards, so not able to find all the strength he's looking for. This, Shimmer Scale into Epoch. Easy looking for that cap out as well.
Yeah, going for more of a, you know, slower level 8 strategy here, getting all the gold he can. And this is a very good board on 3-3 as we see the rest of the gold augments being selected onto the left side. Kud's going for Keepers, which does signal more of a melee build here. We're going to have to take a look at what that is. No extra emblems coming in for WEIBO. I would really like to see the extra Frost emblem.
Yeah, at least be able to have a chance to try and play the vertical in this game. Instead, though, just going to be the support golem coming through. Just find some extra power for the composition. So much gold for Easy. 40 gold, level 7 on 3-3. Very accelerated by the Shimmer Scale.
Yeah, a 3 gold round coming in from Easy on level 7. And it will be bows coming out from Kiyun's Replicate. Actually not going to go for a tier build at all on the Syndra. Full attack speed stack.
Yeah, and this loss hurts. Kiyun really needed to kind of break the loss streak, but it's continued. 8 losses.
I'm kind of surprised on that roll down. I think it just comes down to not having combat augments at this point, going up against a lot of strong support golems. Let's take a look at the forecast. There is a Olaf for WEIBO.
Yeah. Nobody's going to take that away from you, WEIBO. You can true. Nobody's stopping you there.
A very key piece as it fits all of his emblems there. And taking a look at some of the other win streak players on the top of the board, Easy. Wow, Easy win streaking with double gold generation. That's going to be a scary player when it comes to late game.
Another roll down for Kiyun. Prismatic Ticket should help here. Finds another Rumble. Still just missing on the Syndras. There we go. Double Syndra shop. One Rumble away. Sells out to buy the Vex. Another Syndra 2.
3 away. Might need to sell some of these other 2 costs here. I'm not sure if he's going to go for both.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going for Galio, he's close to Galio. Might have to just give up for the time being on either the Tahm Kench or the Mordekaiser.
So it looks like Milala and Hanxing are just going to take each other out. Both going for the Honeymancer line here. Should give some reprieve. No. No.
Oh, the wave from Nami, can it buy time? It just doesn't.
Oh.
Kyun just doesn't have the stacks on the Syndra either. I think that's another big deal is he's lost so much that the Syndra has not gotten stacked up and he's losing all these fights. Galio 3, sure. He needs some big hits from Prismatic Ticket here. Rumble, Galio, 2 more Syndras, only 10 gold.
I mean, surely this should be stable, right?
2 costs with 3 costs, 1 more?
Mordekaiser 2 as well.
Finds the Vex 2, but he can't level the 7. I mean, he just has no gold. He can't go 7. Needs to find the Syndra, but he's so far behind, and this was supposed to be one of the heroes for the team. This was supposed to be the win-out player. And while he's found the front line now, he doesn't have the items. He doesn't have the Syndra online. He doesn't have the stacks going.
It's just pretty unlucky. We didn't see that many Syndras outside of his board, and you know, this is always the dangers of playing full loss streak into big roll down is sometimes you can just miss those roll downs.
And it was maybe the least contested Syndra has been all series.
True.
And it was Prismatic Ticket. And Kyun just not able to find the units.
I will say though, this is, I consider it a salvageable situation from him. Okay, so Honglin's holding the Syndras here. He has 5 copies.
There it is.
He does have 2 3-star frontline units.
Yep.
And is only 1 off Syndra. So once he hits that, I still think he has a very high chance of stabilizing on stage 4.
I think so too. I think he can get there. Level 7, he already has the Vex. Ready to go. Hit the board. He just needs that Syndra to show up ASAP. It cannot be a couple rounds. It has to be here. It has to be 4-1.
Yep. Just
can't really wait much longer.
Also going to the full lose streak mode here. There's 2 players outside with... that's interesting. I'm pretty sure Hanxing's playing for the Kog'Maws, but he's
Syndra
going to take it. Nice.
Such a massive hit. Saves the game for Kyun here. We'll see if it's enough. But he does have the upgraded Tahm Kench in the front line as well, so his Vanguards should be able to hold strong. 2 3-stars. Rest of the front line's upgraded.
Yeah, I don't really see any board beating him as of now. Should be safe into going later into the game, stage 4, stage 5, build up his economy once again. In the meantime, Jisub already level 8 on 4-1 with Martyr. This is going to be the ace player, the cap-out player coming in for FNATIC.
Yeah, able to find the Nora. This time around, a couple players playing that kind of more first-rate style when we'd seen FNATIC previously always playing more for tempo. But we know so many of these players are good at playing for first. And Jisub going to try and show it here. Gone to 8 already. With this level up on 4-1, finds a 5 cost to play around. Losing that fight, though, to the Frost. See if that composition can come together as well, because I know Weijin is just scrapping for placements.
Hezu with a big win streak, 5 there. I think he's on the multi-striker lines. We are looking at, I believe, Hanxing's board, trying to cap out onto the Kog'Maws. On the other hand, taking a look at Easy's board, going into some of the Bastion Scholar line, not a particularly strong line. I don't think this is going to be the win-out player for them.
Ooh, reinforcements taken.
Didn't hit anything? Didn't take
Finds Fiora.
Okay.
There it is.
There you go.
Exactly what he was looking for. Hanxing putting together a strong board.
Oh, so he pivoted off the Kog'Maw. Okay, good move there. Is going to go into Warrior Preservers.
Found a Diana as well. Sells a lot of the board off, but that will pair with the Bastion, gets the Pyros in.
Yep, this is exactly how you want to build the board out.
Hadn't slammed items yet, going up against Honglien. Can hold back, but it depends who they want to win here. Looks like the items are going to start to come down, though, for Hanxing.
Small point of worry is that there still is no sustain items coming out on the side of Fiora. Of course, she does have the Knight's Vow and the Warrior proc there. It's typically not enough. Meanwhile, for Honglian, already with the Xerath, so potential ability for some Ascendant Charms coming in.
Oh, Kiyun losing again. The multi-strikers reroll in this game, able to get it done. There was a Jax 3. Kiyun's so close to that win, but taking another hit, even though that board feels like it should be so stable.
Wow, Keepers, very good Randuin items. He's very far away from the Kassadin, but it doesn't matter. It's the Jax able to carry through. And I like this build coming in from on the side of Akali. I think Akali is just not a very stable unit most of the time, so it just plays
TG?
full tempo.
Yeah, just slap a TG on and just hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And we see the press attack being picked up. 4-2, massive hit to be able to make this comp continue to win streak in stage 4. Keep Keza potentially just making it into the top 4 for sure with that, holding on to so much extra HP.
Milala is holding on to the Kassadin, so after Hanching pivoted away, Milala now putting his focus onto the multi-striker, trying to keep the other 2-cost reroller down, because he will be rerolling a lot himself. But his spot is very precarious. Hasn't hit any of the 3 stars. He's contesting his front line against Kiyun, and he's only on 20 gold, so the non-win-out players in Weijin and in Milala, I think, are in a bit of trouble here going later into the game.
Yeah.
Weijin actually going for the, I like this augment a lot, Everfrost. Good pickup for him.
I bet you so much of the audience has never seen this augment. Can you explain what it does? Because, come on, nobody's playing Frost right now.
It gives you an Everfrost on a dummy, essentially, and once it hits 0 HP, then it sort of goes into stasis and then regens back again. It's a very good stalling option. I like it a lot better early game, of course, but it fits with the entire Frost kind of philosophy there. Also gets stronger with your Frost Soldier, just changing around the focus.
Makes sense, and there we go. Milala gets to hit now.
Okay, 4-5 hit. It's a little bit slow.
It's too slow for this to win the lobby, but if he can hold on for an extra placement or two,
he's
just
massive. Taking away all the Kassadins. That's all he needs to do here. Let's see if he can break the win streak of Kudzu. If he can do that, hang on as long as possible. Make sure Kudzu just doesn't run away with the game. That's his job.
He missed the Nunu, found the back line, but he can be supplemented by this Randuin's. By a little bit of extra time, make the front line stronger even if he hasn't found the 3 stars.
Going up against Easy, already with the Karma 2 here. Front line gets an additional item.
Yeah, the Mogul's Mail doing so much work, but Tarek 2, so tanky. Milala gonna take another hit.
In the meantime, Kudzu putting Dissoap very low. Dissoap only on 14 HP, and he only has 4 gold, so he doesn't even have the gold to go to level 9. This is the problem with a lot of times when we talked about level up. You need to go to level 9. It's not something where you can roll a lot on level 8.
Yeah, Dissoap went to 9, 14 life, didn't get stable.
Hanxing
look, just Nora 1.
Ooh. No legendary upgrade yet. Very tough situation. Does find the Morgana at least.
The rest of the team re-rolling 2 costs for the most part. The 4 costs are not pulled out of the pool. Dissoap in a lot of trouble, runs into Kiyun. He's not beating Kiyun here. Kiyun did not weaken himself because Kiyun can't really afford to. If he's to fight anybody on the other side, he needed to be strong enough. Dissoap likely gonna go to 1 life here. He needs to find some kills at the very least. Make sure he doesn't just fall down. Looks like he'll get enough kills.
Still holding on to dear life. His backline is getting targeted now. Everything falling down. And that's just the danger of level up. You go and you have to bet on those 10% odds.
1 life for Dissoap. Only 10 gold. See what he can get off of neutrals here. Hansing, the only one from WEIBO in danger as of right now. Kiyun and Milala, both kind of free-falling, but Kiyun is stabilized. Kiyun is stabilized on the Syndra. Milala, not so much. Still level 6, needing to push levels after hitting that Cogmaw.
Yeah, Milala is going to go bot for no matter what happens. I think the big thing for Dissoap here is just hope that he gets some more gold, that he can get those legendary upgrades. Nasus 2 would be huge here. Any Okay, that's
a lot of gold.
Yep.
Melio to instantly
Nasus 2.
upgrade on Nasus.
He's hitting.
Recon 2. Nora
Huge
pair.
hit, huge hit.
His damage is still lacking, but the Melio can help out with the items.
2 shapeshifters in the front line. Going to be TG onto the Fiora. This should be a very strong board at this point. He is a little bit suspect onto the... I think the front line is still a little bit weird. He doesn't really have the items where he wants them to. But if he can stall out, maybe there is a chance. Rotates into Weijin, though, who has a win streak.
Yeah, and that's Wei 3 being played around. Says, you know what? No, it's not Olaf. It's Wei. And you need the cast quickly from Melio, but there's no mana generation there. Melio gets the items out. Looks like stable enough to at least beat the Frost board from Weijin. It's not who we need to see Dishso beating for FNATIC to be finding the win, though. Hanqing goes down. Is that the 8th? It is.
Oh, that's a sigh of
goes to
relief.
WEIBO.
So even if the FNATIC has someone go 7th here, there's going to be +1 points going in. And the good news is Kaza is finally cooling down, the 5-win streak player, all through stage 4, but not able to hold his cast in. Milala doing his job here, making sure to deny on the 2-cost reroll.
Dragon picked up. Terrifying for Dishso. If this ends up being the combat, try and eliminate him. Akali 3.
Oh, it's all going to be about the positioning here from the Akali. Multi-striker with press the attack, but...
it's Malala on the other side. I think if you're FNATIC, Malala tanking this pressure, not the worst situation.
That's been the plan for a very long time. You know, Malala just doesn't have a win-out condition.
Dishso, front line, falling apart, but Melio gives a lot more HP to that Nasus. The damage just isn't there, though.
Nasus
the
falls
damage
down.
just isn't there. The Taric stays alive even longer. One more cast from Nora, it doesn't come through. Melio does enough.
Oh, he gets one more knapsack cast, and he stays alive. Dishto, 2 HP, still there. That was so close. It was the last cast coming in.
Another upgrade for Kaza. Easy, still so strong.
3 players here with less than 15 HP. Stage 5, the minimum damage is 11 here. If Kiyun just loses by 2 units, he's out.
Kiyun has to hold on.
Plot a nail biter.
has to hold on. Malala's done what he can. He might have to sack for his teammate if he runs into him. Looks like here, Dish Soap, this fight looks winnable.
Karma 2 with perfect items with a very bad roll onto the Ornforge here. Double Luden's not going to do much.
Trenchcoat comes out, breaks, giving items from the Melio. Looks like it's plenty for Dish Soap. The Karma's still doing lots of damage, though. There is a tank in the front line, still alive, living for far too long. One more cast from Melio. Doesn't quite do enough. The Nora. Dish Soap's down. Dish Soap goes down.
Dish Soap dies to the ghost?
And now Malala and Kiyun both on a single life. Weijin losing as well. Top 3 is WEIBO. Bottom 3 FNATIC. A heartbreak for North American fans, for America's fans.
Not like this, not like this. We don't want another blowout game. I want a closer comeback. But who can carry FNATIC here? But we talked about Malala doesn't really have a chance. Kiyun low-rolled very heavily early on. He just needs more tank items. Let's see if he can potentially stack through. On the other hand, for Weijin, I don't really see this single blaster unit being enough.
Weijin is never supposed to be the hero here. Playing around that Frost Hunter from early on. Just trying to make as best as he can. Kiyun and Dish Soap, the spots to try and cap. The Prismatic Ticket, the level up. But Dish Soap gets taken down in these final moments, never finding a true carry upgrade. Not having the damage on his board. And Kiyun can't find that Syndra, even though it wasn't as heavily contested.
Things are getting very dicey for FNATIC. I just can't have an optimistic outlook here. I want this game to be much closer than it is. Malala, I think he's done his job. He's brought Keza down a little bit, but the pivot from Hanqing was, I think was a pretty clever at some point.
It's Malala versus Kiyun. One of them has to go. Kiyun has the better shot at winning. Malala's going to go down. Weijin has to hold on. Weijin has to deal damage
Weijin
to the CN players, but he lost.
If FNATIC have one more player in the bottom four, then it's mathematically over. The most star-studded roster in the tournament just going out in the first elimination bracket.
Massive upset by Z10, taking FNATIC down, sending them to the lower bracket. With WEIBO, I'd still consider it an upset over FNATIC, even though it is much closer in our initial expectations of these team skill.
I definitely had FNATIC a tier above WEIBO Gaming in my own list so far. Let's see if they still have a chance. 5 HP between two FNATIC players.
Honglien still so healthy, and that's the next person on the HP. WeiBo fighting against Easy, having to play around Frost, having to play around Hui. Not a unit that we have seen much success from. We do have the Olaf in the back line, able to try and keep Malala alive. Can he pull it off? The front line's still there. WeiBo going to lose this fight. WeiBo goes down, and that's the nail in the coffin for FNATIC. 3 in the bot 4, and WEIBO Gaming will eliminate the tournament favorite, the favorites from North America, and they will take their key and crush their dreams.
The two most recent global champions in Malala and Dishsub go out in just the group stages, not even being able to make the playoffs. WEIBO Gaming proves that CN is not a region that you can underestimate. They're only the 3rd seed out of that region, but putting on a masterclass, a beautiful series where they were blown out in Game 1, came back on Honglien in Game 2, and got a lot of luck on their way in Game 3.
Time and time again in Teamfight Tactics, we talk about CN, North America, kind of the best 2 regions that we have, and CN coming to try and prove that they still are on top. Just because they have a drought of winning set championships, their streak was never a fluke. They still put the most players into the final day of championships, and they're going to try and put the most teams into the final days of the EWC.
Kutsu finally breaking out with some laughter. It's been a while since he's been on the international stage. He's going to get his name out there. Feel incredibly happy for this player. It's been a long time in the TLC competing. And yeah, I just think this, this game, unfortunately, I don't think FNATIC did a lot wrong there. Malala, he brought Hanshing down, but the issue is they went for a lot of high cap play styles, and unfortunately they low rolled a ton. Unfortunately, level up from Dish Soap didn't really work out. He had to roll a lot on level 8 to stabilize, wasn't able to do so, and then low rolled on level 9 again. It's just heartbreaking to see that from some of our best players cannot get away from a bad Mort Dog moment.
Yeah, and Kian, right, low rolling, trying to find the Syndras. We did see that Honglien was holding 5 copies, but when it comes to Syndra being held, I think this is one of the games where she was being held the least, and just still not being able to find it with the prismatic ticket. Malala not able to find the Kog'Maws. Yes, he was contested. He was keeping Hongxing from being able to go for that. He ends up getting the outplacement. He does everything that he can there. Dish Soap pushes to 9, rolls enough gold. You would think it's enough gold. Does not find a carry unit, even though he upgrades the front line. And the Melio, while it's great, you want an upgraded Melio. It's great for capping out your board at the very highest. You still need a carry to anchor around, and just never showed up.
His backline carry was still 1 star when he was eliminated, only able to find the Nora 1. So, just a unfortunate moment coming in here. Kiyun also going to get eliminated. Of course, we're going to have to play the game out for sportsmanship. I just feel so happy for these players. Easy especially. He is the only player on this roster that has not been to a global championship, but all of the other members are talking him up. He's the new young talent. He's the one with the study group, the coach of the team, the ace in their previous series, and now he's going to be able to move on with that pedigree of the EWC group stage, beating FNATIC. No less.
And look, there were worries at the start of this series, right? He had such an incredible day 1, and then he starts out with that very tough 8 that it looks like might have been able to be played a little bit differently, a little bit better. But Easy bounces back in games 2 and 3, having phenomenal placements, doing a really, really solid job. And honestly, though, the all-star for this one, for this series, you got to look at top of the tables here, Honglien. Game 2, incredible win-out strategy, playing in his style, his way, in a 4v4 setting, and getting it done to keep WEIBO alive, keep them in this series, and give them this final shot at that last game where once again, he's playing for this first place.
It's just going to be a golden journey for him. Because, you know, final carousel, the players are already celebrating at this point. Let's see who they want to buff up the AVPs, you know. AVPs do come into MVP consideration, so it's possible that they would want to give this to Honglian.
Yeah, I mean, I think the MVP of this series, regardless, might be Honglian.
Yeah.
But I think as far as AVPs are concerned, it's also likely Honglian. I think with the first place in the last game, top 2 here, should be getting it done. Really, really well done by him, and it's great to see him show up big. I think Honglian, somebody that I've been missing on the international stage, we haven't been able to kind of have him back for a minute, and being able to see his play style come to fruition here in EWC is phenomenal.
You know what the funniest thing would be afterwards? If like WEIBO Gaming looks around and said, Kiyun, we want your key. You know, world champion. Now we're going to take Kiyun's key.
Kiyun, and he deserves the respect, I think, in these games. Kiyun, another top 4 for him, right? FNATIC still unable to find a first across the entire tournament, which is so uncharacteristic for this roster. But Kiyun, the one that I think a lot of players were kind of making fun of him just because you look around at the rest of his team and you see all these accolades. But Kiyun has been a strong veteran in the